The opening round of the 2026 MotoGP season in Thailand delivered exactly what the championship had been missing for quite some time: tension, unpredictability, and the feeling that a major power shift could be brewing inside the paddock. After a 2025 season largely dominated by Márquez, the Buriram weekend immediately sent a clear message. The road to a potential 10th world title may not be as straightforward as many expected. Under the scorching lights of the Thai Grand Prix weekend, fans were treated to a fierce on-track confrontation between Marquez and the rising phenomenon Pedro Acosta. Their sprint race battle felt symbolic, almost like a passing of the torch moment in MotoGP's evolving landscape. Acosta showed no hesitation attacking the 9-time world champion, proving that the new generation is no longer intimidated by the legends of the sport. And while the spotlight was firmly on that duel, another storyline quietly emerged that could have even bigger implications for the championship fight. On Sunday, Bezzecchi delivered a commanding victory for Aprilia Racing, a result that suggests the Italian manufacturer may finally be ready to challenge the established order. It already feels evident that securing a 10th MotoGP crown will not be an easy task for Marquez this year. Despite entering the season as the world champion after his dominant 2025 campaign with Ducati Lenovo team, the first weekend of 2026 exposed how quickly the competitive landscape can shift. Last season lacked the kind of dramatic title fight fans had hoped for. Marquez controlled the championship almost from start to finish during his debut year with Ducati's factory squad, wrapping up the title well before the final round. It was a masterclass in consistency and experience, but it also meant the championship battle rarely reached boiling point. However, the opening round in Buriram hinted that things might be very different this time around. For years, many observers had been waiting for the moment when Marquez would face a true challenge from the next generation. And Acosta has long been seen as the rider capable of delivering exactly that. Their first real clash has now happened in Thailand, and it likely won't be the last. In fact, the rivalry could take on an even deeper dimension in the future, with both riders expected to share a Ducati garage in 2027. That possibility alone adds an intriguing layer of tension for Ducati management, who may eventually need to balance two incredibly strong personalities under the same roof. Despite the growing competition, Marquez himself insists that he is currently in one of the best phases of his career. The Spaniard has repeatedly described his 2025 world title as the most meaningful championship he has ever won. After 4 extremely difficult years following the devastating crash at 2020 Spanish Grand Prix, which nearly ended his career, simply returning to the top already felt like a personal triumph. Many believed his winning days were behind him after that injury. But Marquez proved otherwise. According to the rider from Cervera, the challenges of the past years have actually changed his mindset. He remains just as ambitious as before, but with a calmer and more controlled approach. He openly admits that he feels at peace with where he is today. The ambition remains intact. The desire to compete is still burning, but the pressure that once defined his career has been replaced by a more balanced perspective. Ironically, the 2026 season did not begin in the way Marquez would have hoped. What could have been a strong weekend quickly unravelled due to a combination of misfortune and penalties. A sanction during the sprint race disrupted his rhythm, and a punctured tyre during the main Grand Prix effectively destroyed his chances of fighting for victory. Instead of celebrating a potential opening round triumph, the reigning champion left Thailand knowing valuable points had slipped away. Yet the duel with Acosta revealed something even more important: a glimpse of the battles that could define the future of MotoGP. Marquez himself understands why fans are fascinated by the prospect of racing against Acosta. He openly recognizes the young Spaniard as the leader of the new generation. In his eyes, Acosta possesses a rare level of talent and confidence that sets him apart from many of his peers. But Marquez also emphasizes that true rivalries in MotoGP are forged over entire seasons, when two riders fight all the way to the final round for the championship. If that scenario eventually unfolds between him and Acosta, MotoGP could be entering one of its most compelling rivalries of the modern era. While much of the narrative focuses on Ducati and its riders, Sunday's race result delivered another important message to the paddock. Aprilia's victory with Marco Bezzecchi demonstrated that the Noale manufacturer is becoming increasingly competitive. The Italian rider looked composed, aggressive, and perfectly in control throughout the race. A performance that suggested Aprilia's project has reached a new level. If they can maintain this momentum throughout the season, they could play a decisive role in the championship fight. The absence of Jorge Martin at the very front of the race only added to the unpredictability of the weekend. Instead, it was Bezzecchi who stepped forward as the unexpected headline act. And if Aprilia continues to improve, the championship may soon evolve into a three-way battle between Ducati's established dominance, Aprilia's rising strength, and the explosive talent of MotoGP's younger generation. Away from the track, speculation about Marquez's long-term future continues to circulate within the paddock. Contract discussions with Ducati are ongoing, and rumours about a potential retirement inevitably appear whenever his physical condition is discussed. The Spaniard does not rule anything out. Much will depend on how his body responds in the coming years. The injuries he suffered earlier in his career still play a role in shaping his decisions, and he has been open about the importance of managing his physical condition carefully. One thing, however, seems certain. Even when he eventually stops racing, Marquez is unlikely to leave the MotoGP world behind. When asked whether he might one day run his own team, he acknowledged that the idea is not impossible. After all, there are already examples within the paddock, such as Lucio Cecchinello with LCR Honda and Valentino Rossi with the VR46 racing team. MotoGP, after all, has been his life for more than a decade. Looking at the opening race of the season, one conclusion is starting to emerge. The era of easy dominance, the kind Marquez sometimes enjoyed during his peak years, may now be over. The grid is younger, faster, and increasingly fearless. Riders like Pedro Acosta are not waiting patiently for their turn. They are already attacking the established stars head-on. And that is precisely what makes this championship so exciting again. If the Marquez versus Acosta battles continue the way they began in Buriram, the 2026 MotoGP season could easily become one of the most thrilling campaigns the sport has seen in recent years.